British people do have a chance to change course. I personally believe that we will see the clock ticking away, and there will come a moment where we have to make a judgment and say, well, are we going to just continue to this time frame? Article 50, of course, can be revoked or put on pause. We need to consider that this is an option, and I think that the British people do have the right to think again if, on reflection, they see that this is too costly and potentially too damaging.
Really, the raison d'etre of all of these amendments have been the cat has been let out of the bag, so to speak, in the sense that he wishes to revoke Article 50 and essentially overturn the will of 17.4 million people. That's the be-all and end-all. That's the raison d'etre of what we have heard tonight. That the whole tactic, that the whole tactic of these amendments, no matter how reasoned they might sound, no matter how palatable they may be made by some members, is essentially to do over the will of the British people.
No, I think the honourable gentleman is being a little bit unfair. He should look at the text of the amendment, which simply says that the consequences of Brexit, the costs to the public and to his constituents, who may potentially have to fork out £1,000 per man, woman and child, should be authorised by this Parliament. We should take back control. He could imply all sorts of motives on my shoulders for tabling this, but I think it would be honourable if we could address the topic at hand.
Well, I am addressing the topic, to be perfectly frank, and I notice that the member, and I'll happy to allow him to intervene again on me, but does he deny that he wishes to revoke Article 50 and turn over the will of the British people? Of course.
The point I made before was that Article 50 can be revoked if the British public wish that to be the case. The Prime Minister has not denied that is the case. She might say it's the government policy not to revoke Article 50, but she hasn't said it is impossible to do so. I was simply pointing out a legal reality.
Let the people decide. In pointing out the legal reality, Mr Hanson, it's no more clear than mud now as to what exactly is the Labour Party's position on all of these matters. Are we going to ultimately honour the will of the British people, put this bill into an act and withdraw from the EU? That is the bottom line. And all of these amendments are slowly but surely being exposed that they have a different motivation. And the motivation, it was said earlier tonight, indeed, by my honourable friend, the same member, that we, quote, need to put the members of Parliament, the Brexit members of Parliament, on the spot and get them to vote for the consequences of Brexit. I will happily walk through that division aisle tonight, voting down this new clause 17 for the very reason that I wish to put in practice and in law the will of the British people, because they voted to leave and we must bring it on and allow them to leave. I believe that the points that have been raised tonight, of course I will, let me just make the opening point in this, and then I will of course give way to the Father of the House. I have no problem at all with that. I believe that the confusion has been allowed to reign as a result of these proposed amendments, and of course I will